Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how I built my king-size bed in the back of my Promaster. It converts to a couch, a lounge, and a dinette. Let me show you how I did it.
After the walls were up, I measured out the 80 inches for my king-size bed, made a list, and headed off to Menards. Since this bed is going to do a lot of things, I wanted it to be built strong. I decided on 2x4s and 3/4 inch laminated plywood. I chose laminated so it wouldn't splinter and get caught up in my mattress. Because the plywood was going to hinge across the middle so the couch could fold up, the plywood was going to need a ledge to sit on for the perimeter of my bed. The vertical bed supports are on the outside for this reason. I'm a big fan of using joist holders and L brackets for strong square joints. My boards never twist or become uneven as I attach them, and I can build in place. I may have used too many, but my bed will never come apart or be wobbly. This next cross piece is the beginning of the dinette. It measures 54 inches from the back door. Here I measure with my body to make sure there will not be a seam in the mattress under my hips. I begin building the foot of the bed and the dinette seats. They are 18 inches deep and 28 inches wide. The seat will have hinges for easy access to the storage below.
When using these joist holders, you want to try and line them up as close to the end, so this is a flat, as you can. And the way that I do that is I kind of hold it in place and I pre-drill at first. First hole there. Then I go ahead and put in a screw. Now that should pretty much be the right spot, but it will shift a little bit. And then you flip it over and you see how that bows out. That's okay. You just have to kind of hold it in place. Blue on there, and I don't know if you can see that very well. That's pretty flat, and that's what you're looking for. Okay, let's fit that in here. That is really close when it comes to a 2x4. The holes are, I'd say, dangerously close to the edge. But then what I do is I drill, like, instead of drilling straight in, I drill in at an angle to give that, hopefully it won't splinter out later. I take you on a quick tour of how far I've gotten on this. And so our heads will be at the back, and each one of those sections will fold up. So the further section will fold up and it'll make a couch. This closer section here will fold up and we'll be able to look out the back. This is the dinette.
Since my bed frame fits right on top of the wheel wells, I made a simple frame with leftover furring strips and paneling. This frame is to protect the insulation on the wheel wells and doesn't add any support to the bed. I wanted to point out the double 2x4s in the center of the bed. I did this as an air gap for the memory foam mattress. Let's talk about how much storage I have under this bed, or the garage area as it is commonly referred to in van builds. From the floor to the bottom of the bed is 17 inches. That height was determined by the wheel wells. I know 17 inches doesn't sound like that much, but it's large enough for the largest Rubbermaid tote. I consider the back two sections of the bed and between the wheel wells my garage space, even though it's open to the front or the foot area of my dinette. This space is 4 foot 3 inches wide by 4 foot 6 inches deep of uninterrupted storage. Moving forward, under each dinette seat is an additional 18 by 28 by 17 inches deep separate storage compartment. They typically hold our dirty clothes in one, propane tank, and various items in the other.
Okay, I'm going to show you just exactly what this back garage space can hold. First of all, you can see my leveling blocks over here on the right. I have some, that's a camp table, camp chair, my outside mat. There's a little screen porch. It's just a tiny little two-person one, but you can see through to the front of the van there. Then this right here, I just put this in empty because it is one of those full-size Sterilite bins. I don't know, what is it, like a 54 quart or something like that? That's one of those big ones. So, and this is not even till I get to the dinette. Then I have this, and that's like a double wide milk crate. And so that's the depth of it. And then I have yet another Sterilite bin here, and I have another milk crate back there. And so there's a lot of room in there. You could put shoe bins or whatever you wanted in there. And one last thing on this, it is tall enough and wide enough that I can put my kayak in there. So
After I assembled the bed, I decided on a garage mat. I slipped it under the bed and cut it to shape. This will protect my subfloor.
okay, so here's the measurements on the inside of this 2017 159 wheelbase Promaster. There is 12 feet of cargo space, and that's from this little divot, this white raised platform, all the way to, there's a line on the back door, and there's a couple of inches past that. But that's the 12 feet mark on the Promaster 159 wheelbase. I made a king-size bed that is 80 inches from that line in the back to these front pillars. Bring that in. And you can see that that 2x4 kind of sits behind that beam, and that is part of how it's going to be held in place. Also holding it in place with come-alongs. From that pillar to that front pillar, which is the tan and the black right there, that's 57 inches. Okay, since we have this little cutout on the bed, and that's to help it miss, and it's also a hole for my husband to reach down here and use his CPAP machine. I'm going to mimic that same cut here, and that'll be my first cut. For the second long cut that I make, it's going to be 28 inches, and this is going to be where the dinette and the table will be. And I have it planned out that that is a full-size bed in the back, and so if I am traveling by myself, I can leave the dinette set up. I'm going to show you the workings of my dinette table. And I did a DIY lagoon table. And here I built it all with 1-inch galvanized pipe. So, you know, just a basic list would be, I think that's a 4-inch, and then 2 elbows. This is a 24-inch. This is a 24-inch down here, and I had to get this connector, and I think this is 6 inches. Yours will differ depending upon the height of that you want. And then the last piece that you would buy is, I think this is called a plate piece. And since I have a 3/4 inch laminated plywood for my table, I added this extra piece because I just felt it wasn't secure with just the 4, and having this plate was quite a bit better. So over here in my seat, I have, let me lift this out. Okay, so there we go. Let me just back up and you can get a full view of that. It's just a very simple, I don't even know, L with a little hook on the end of it. And then I drilled a hole here in the seat, and that goes down to, it's a flexible rubber tube, and the inside, I chose it because the inside diameter fit the 1-inch galvanized pipe. And then I used, those are just like horseshoe shaped brackets in the plumbing department to secure it on there. So that's the simple workings of that table. I would say, as a review, it's been a little bit difficult getting it twisted on. Sometimes it doesn't seem to want to thread on, and I'm hoping that I can figure a good fix for that. But I'm really pleased with that. Here's Mama Kitty. She's out here helping me today. How you doing, sweet pea? How you doing? It's a good girl. Just fine. When you don't pre-drill, it makes that kind of come out like that. So there we go. That's what I'm looking for. I just want it to be below. I think everything is below this. So. Oh, see, that gets quite a bit thicker. Right on that. That looks good. I like that. I like that angle.